deep sorrow over the death of former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari. He recalls their legacy of friendship and diplomacy, describing him as a statesman whose legacy of diplomacy and commitment to bilateral ties will be fondly remembered. The government of the People's Republic of China, in a statement on X, said, "Our deepest condolences to the people of Nigeria on the passing of Muhammadu Buhari, former president of Nigeria." The statement says, "We mourn a resolute leader whose unwavering dedication to Nigeria's unity and enduring legacy." The U.S. also extends its sympathies to the Nigerian leader while acknowledging Buhari's contributions to the nation's democratic development. The American embassy in Nigeria described the former president as a leader defined by service and discipline. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
All right, you're still watching the live transmission of activities to mark the passing away of former President Muhammadu Buhari, and we will be back in Katsina shortly. Hopefully, we'll get to speak with some of our correspondents. While the guard of honor is waiting also, as you can see them on the tarmac there, expecting the arrival of the president, and then thereafter, of course, the remains of the departed former president as well. Earlier we had Comrade Isa Aremu, and now we have Senator Etayanan, but once he is ready, we will try and join him if he has, been able to work on his audio from Akwa Ibom, because he worked quite closely with the president as a liaison with the National Assembly, and then we will get him on as well. But in the studio, we still have Dr. Sanusi Mohammed Uhiare, former Executive Director, Rural Electrification Agency, actually Rural Electrification Fund under the Rural Education Agency, was the youngest appointee under the PMB administration. And we have Dr. Korede Martins, development expert, who's been with us since morning. I want to consider you an honorary member of the NTA today. You have been quite here. You have been here and been, contributing. And of course, Festus Fifen has been here and is the regional news editor of Ben Television. Has worked closely with 3 presidents now, if we're counting the current one as well, and can talk quite authoritatively about different presidencies and the unique attributes of the helmsmen at the time they were in office. So, gentlemen, it's been a day of sober reflection. We will not be here for, forever. What we do and what we leave behind is what is important, and perhaps that is epitomized in the outpouring of affection and deep regret for some who have worked closely with President Muhammadu Buhari. For some who've also watched him from afar, there's a kind of respect for his legacies as well. You were talking about his international stature. That was why we brought in those materials concerning, other presidents expressing their condolences to Nigeria. But moving forward, in terms of administration, we've seen different things. In terms of how he was ushered in by Nigerians in 2015, the general outpouring of confidence, and the fact that he did an unprecedented thing, being able to, defeat an incumbent, which is unprecedented in Nigeria's history. That perhaps, brought a lot of expectations for that government, which you were a part of. Yes. Do you think, that first time, there was a little bit of an inertia? Perhaps he didn't expect to see what he saw on ground. because it took a while before ministers came in. I remember that was a hot topic in the press at the time. He had to look at what was happening in different sectors, and it took its time. Yeah. Do you think, in your experience since you were part of the administration, did we lose momentum a little bit? Perhaps if you had maybe just come in strong and may change a lot of things. Some people, some commentators thought that little time he needed to take to see what was happening. Some people also used that to, enter into some of the cracks.
I think we knew that the situation was dire back then, because I was part of the campaigns and all of that. That was what led to this massive coalition, and then led to the success. I remember during one of the campaigns, I think this was relayed by the former Vice President, Professor Banjo, that he was with the president and, went for one of the campaigns in one of the northern states. I think it was Kano. You needed to see the momentum, the crowd, young faces, old people. Everybody they were in the bus, just, driving through. And I think the president just became overwhelmed. At that point, he realized that there was a lot of work to do, and he couldn't afford, to fail Nigerians. So coming to your question, I feel it's born out of that fact that he needed to get it right. He needed to assemble the right, team that would help him, not just people that had the technical know-how, but people that also had character, people that would not betray him or betray the trust. Which, trust, we bandy that word around now, but it's actually very scarce when you look at it in the true sense of it, So although it wasn't good for governance, because as far as I was concerned, back then we needed to move
hit the ground
running, whatever he needed to deliver was supposed to be done like years back. That was his style, and I think the country also learned from that. And now I think they've come with a law that within 30 days, is it 2 months or so, 60 days, that you need to now constitute your cabinet. So we learn every day as a country, and we make progress with every administration. Whatever it is, there was a lapse, would try to correct it. But then the current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, at least was able to constitute half of his cabinet before that time, and then he was also able to complete it. So I feel the president was overwhelmed because of the sheer scale of the challenge at that time, and what needed to be done. But gradually, and don't forget that it was shortly after that he had some health challenges as well. He needed to go away for a while and all of that. So he was grappling with, the overwhelming nature of the job and so many things that needed to be sorted at the same time, competing needs of various sectors, and also, his health. But then you mentioned something earlier when you were starting. You said something about, we are not going to be here forever. Everybody needs to play their role and all. And, as people of faith, either as Muslim or Christian or even traditional religion, there is something that everybody believes in. The fact that there is a life after death, and the fact that we would all account, for our actions and inactions at the level of just being a human being that has been sent to worship God, or specifically as a leader. So as a Muslim, I'm taught, my religion teaches me that as a leader, you have several more questions to answer, in accounting for your stewardship and for your time in this world than ordinary citizens. You'll be asked why you allowed somebody that was under your care to go hungry, for instance. So it's leadership in Islam is something that is very, very critical. A lot of people even run away from it because of, the gravity of what you carry and your accountability on, the day of judgment. And I think there was something about Buhari, although he doesn't put it out there, but he was a deeply religious man. From his character alone, you know that this was somebody that was looking at something higher than this world. He didn't really care much about, materialism or worldly things, because he believed in a higher calling, which for me, he strove, more to achieve. For him, that was his goal, as opposed to what people, cherish in this world and look at as, something, to value. He didn't.
Do you think it was a little bit naive of him to put, the stock he had in his own character in others, expecting them to see Nigeria as he saw Nigeria, for instance?
But honest people are always like that. Honest people always believe that other people are honest. That's just, you can call it naive, but you can only reflect what you have on others. You would not think of somebody trying to gain, because you are not like that. He is not. He's an honest man. He's someone that has integrity. So he will give you that benefit of doubt. So if he's giving you an opportunity, of course, if you've not had any previous record of, you're corrupt or this or that, of course, he'll give you benefit of doubt, because honest people always think good of others and imagine that others are like that.
All right, Doctor, I will still pose the same question to you. That initial almost a year where, he had to contemplate what to really do in each sector and delay a little bit in naming his ministers. Was that deliberate, or would it be on the account of some administrative inertia?
It will be, I strongly believe that it was deliberate. But before we get to that, we must give kudos to the leaders, the political leaders, the progressives that came together and supported him to emerge and become Nigeria's president democratically. We must appreciate the president at the time, who was his predecessor, His Excellency Goodluck Ebele Azikiwe Jonathan, DCFR, who by every declaration that he made ensured that the transition from his government to that of Muhammadu Buhari was peaceful. And the statement he made that has given him a lot of accolade, the world over, that his ambition does not
what anybody's
blood,
yeah.
As the case may be. It stands positively for Goodluck Jonathan, GCFR. Now, come back to Muhammadu Buhari, Excellency, now new president. He was a thorough man. He was a man that takes his time to do things. He will not just rush into doing anything. Yes, you can say those, as my brother rightly said, there's something we talk about people that has integrity. We say positive gullibility. One can be positively gullible. And chances are that people who have, ulterior motives tend to want to take advantage, of that situation. But his persona of integrity, his persona of discipline, it was reported that quite a number of people willingly, were returning monies to the coffers of Nigeria before, without being asked. In the first few months of his administration, it took his time. And later, as my brother said, he had health challenges. They will not fall ill. Anybody can fall ill. And when you have that kind of a health challenge at the level to which he had it, it's quite unfortunate that you may not be 100%. You may not have the 100% capability to monitor everything, all the projects and programs that you want to, execute. Mm-hmm. So again, the people who had ulterior motives that he trusted and trusted, will come in and then have a kill, of the national cake, as the case may be. They may be banding around today as another coalition. That's their problem. But we know what happened in this country. And we are willing, able, capable, ready. Because Muhammadu Buhari, will give it to him, a man of integrity, a frugal man, a thorough administrator, who had been tested and trusted, who delivered on his promises to Nigerians. But we are not, taking our eyes away from the fact that there were people who had ulterior motives, and they tried as much as possible in the bid to attempt to enrich themselves, made a lot of intentional errors, as the case may be. And that is a concern of people. Now, there's another aspect of his presence. Things he said, and people will take in the negative. For example, it is not on record of his statements that he said Nigerian youths are lazy. It's a statement saying we have over 60% of under 30-year-olds in Nigeria. And one would expect that nobody should wait to be given housing free of charge. Nobody should wait to be fed free of charge. Everybody must work for whatever it is, they earn. And that is integrity. It's a principle of integrity. It's a principle that brings about productivity. But again, the naysayers, incurable pessimists, took it as saying that Mr. President said Nigerian youths are lazy. Muhammadu Buhari never said that. In the right words, Nigerian youths are lazy. He never said that. So, but anybody has a right to, think in any way what he feels, he should, what he feels a statement really means to him, or her. But the truth of the matter is that a leader that has integrity about him, will always expect that every human being within the nation state at its feet will actually be productive, so that you can, enjoy the gains of productivity.
All right, Festus Fifen, you've been seeing, the activities right there at the Umar Musa Yar'Adua International Airport in Katsina. Just a little bit earlier, we saw the different service chiefs arrive the venue. So that means that we're getting closer to the business of the day. And of course, because of the person being buried today is a former commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic as well. And you can see the military and all the different services were represented there on the tarmac, getting ready also for the parade. You can see right there the guard of honor, all waiting for the arrival of the president. Also, a bit earlier, we also saw the arrival of the wife of the president, the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, in black, coming in, also arriving the venue. And a delegation from our neighbors in Niger already touched ground, welcomed by the governor of Katsina State there to be part of the proceedings. We're expecting some other leaders from different parts of the continent as well, as the nation bids farewell to former President Muhammadu Buhari. First of all, you, we've seen heads of state, come and go. There's something unique about President Muhammadu Buhari. He brought almost over 10 million votes to every election that he participated in. That is quite a phenomenon in terms of, following politics. That's a huge number, especially when you look at what happened in the last election and in terms of the, margin of votes and all that. What really, influenced that following, that dogged following that he had, even when he lost elections?
Thank you very much. There were situations where, when we traveled with the president, in 2019, I was in Port Harcourt, and I lost my microphone there because whenever the president appears, everywhere will just be electrified in such a way that you will not even understand what is happening. That points us to one thing. No matter how we feel Nigeria is rotting, or some people use the word rotting, which I don't believe, we all believe that discipline can make a difference. We all believe that being upright can make a difference. We all believe that there is so much that is expected of us for us to get the kind of Nigeria that we want. So what we saw, or what we see every time we go out with him, is that Nigerians are tired of this current Nigeria. They are aware that some people that have been placed in position of leadership are not doing what they are supposed to do. So whenever they see the man that was able to whip Nigeria in order, they just say, okay, this man will be able to do this for us. So when you see them, I was in Kano and you see people fainting, just saying, say Baba. And when he just bring out his hand and just wave them, we say, oh, what we used to see in those days with Michael Jackson, Michael, I love you, things like that were happening. So it goes to tell you that we are tired of where we are. People are still looking for that man, that woman, that individual that will be able to, we believe we have so much resources, we have so much money, and we have people, we also have goodwill. Good people these days are hiding because whenever they come, their life is somehow rubbished in the public sphere. But Buhari was somebody that didn't have a godfather. Didn't have anybody that you can say, okay, if this one goes to talk to him, for example, in that superior thing, he will bend. So people looked forward to having someone like him lead. So that followership, no matter how he lost, people still believe. I have a colleague, my elder brother, Austin Elimwe. Austin Elimwe will tell you, that was where you saw that quote, that even if he should bring NEPA bill, that will still vote for him. That quote was there at a particular time where some people just believe that anything is not good except Buhari. So somebody said at the time where we're having a political discourse like we normally do as journalists, say, as far as Buhari is in the ballot, it will be difficult for any other northerner to come and win election. Because people believe that Buhari is that man that will bring the Nigeria that we are supposed to see. Like my brother said, I don't want to use the word unfortunately, because he did not actually leave the country where he met it. No matter how some people might have, like I told you earlier, that people had expectations. They felt, oh, this man is the man that can change us. Let him do it now. But we did not realize that we did not get here now. The rot is a system. Let me give you this shocking example. A few years ago, I was in a vehicle from Abeokuta to Ibadan. And there were these two women that were speaking. They were having a conversation behind. They were at the back seat. And one of the women, I was shocked. One of the women said, everybody's husband is going there with one political appointment or the other. They are making money. They are stealing money. Their family is living large. They are all doing well. Now, it is the turn of my husband to get there. And you are telling me that my husband will not steal money, that I will not drive the kind of cars that people are driving. I will poison him if he does not steal money. I'm not telling you this, but like I was in the same vehicle with these people, speaking just behind me. So our value system, where people see that, there was an article I wrote some time ago, we make criminals out of our leaders. Whenever you get appointment as Fisa, now just become a governor, you will see the kind of invitations you will get. Somebody will even have the guts to tell you, I want to marry the fourth wife. Come and give me money to marry the fourth wife. And you that is Fisa, you have one wife. The person believes that now you are in government, should be able to give them money. So Nigerians know that these things are not right. So seeing somebody that they can queue behind to give us that new Nigeria is the reason you are having that between 10 to 12 million votes anytime it comes to contest. But because people believe that since this man does not want any affluence, he's not looking for anything for himself, he is somebody that will believe that will be able to take us from where we are to where we want to be. That's where that followership is coming from. And in the press call, we were referring to it as occultic followership because you can't control it. Everywhere will be in order. Immediately say Baba comes out and everybody will say, some just wants to touch him. Some just want to say, okay, let us do this with you. We believe in you. So he was somebody that Nigeria has so much expectation. Some of his lieutenants did not do too well because the value system also made it very difficult for them to do so well. So if we must get this country right, we must start from the grassroots, have this leadership recruitment process that is deliberate, not because you want to go there and get your own, but because you feel Nigeria should be better. And in my place, they say one rich man in the family is a poor man, because by the time anything happens, you will go back to square zero. So one upright man in a society that is full of people that have character challenge, as it were, will not take us from where we are to where we want to be.
You know, as a governor, I will not approve for a photo. Anyway,
wait until you become a governor.
We'll move on, you know, on that. But, you know, let me get quickly to Dr. Korede Martins. He spoken talking about First Swift, so giving us a picture of, you know, how that followership, you know, grew simply on the strength of character, as witnessed in some of the positions he held, you know, in public office. And would you define him as somebody from a different era? Because perhaps when he returned, he was a little bit innocent, perhaps not particularly in touch with how avaricious the Nigerian society had become, especially administratively.
He was a man of himself. He was a man who had, by himself, trained himself to be frugal in all that he did at the time. And not too many people had the time, you know, to do that. Over time, over the decades, while serving as a military officer, you know, facts are there. You know, Muhammadu Buhari had had his head high above the waters. So that formed him, made him to actually have followership. We spoke about the war against indiscipline, and when he left, a lot of, you know, indiscipline, you know, characters and behaviors that are negative, you know, held sway in the country. Gradually and surely, because us Nigerians, were expecting, you know, that we have a vision about the kind of country, the type of nation we ought to have. Quite a number of us travel abroad and see how things are done over there. When we land at the airports, we do the right thing, we maintain ourselves, and then we are disciplined abroad. But the moment we land at our international airports here, back home, we throw away those togas of discipline. And then,
Doctor, I think the president has just arrived.
Oh, wonderful.
Let's take in the ambience. I think that is looks like the presidential jet. Let's look at what is happening now. Very shortly, I think the president will disembark. We just want to confirm that is the president that has just arrived at Katsina International Airport. Let's look at live pictures from Katsina.
You are onto the services of the Nigerian Television Authority, the African largest television network. We are at the Musa. We are currently at the Umaru Musaya International Airport, Katsina, in Katsina State. We are just witnessing the arrival of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, GCFR, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, with his entourage. He's being received by all the dignitaries that have been waiting for his arrival. The entourage of the president has the vice presidents, also have you also have in his entourage Professor Yemi Osibanjo, among many other dignitaries. Thus, Mr. President, being led by the governor of Katsina State, Governor Umar Dikko Rada, to introduce him to other dignitaries, many from different parts of the country, to identify with Nigeria at this moment of grief.